My fiancée gave my first-class seat to her ex and told me, I need a real man if something goes wrong, not a coward. So I took her best friend to Tokyo instead. Then she called begging me to come back. Sup, Reddit. So I, 29 male, met Alora, 28 female, through mutual friends at a concert in 2019. Back then, she was in marketing at a startup, had her own place, paid her own bills. We split everything 50-50 for the first year or so. Dinners, movies, weekend trips. It felt even. It felt normal. Then COVID hit, her company folded, and she moved in temporarily to save money while job hunting. The interviews slowed, the rejections stacked, and she shifted into the whole finding myself phase. I didn't fight it. I told her to breathe. I'd cover things for a bit. A bit turned into 4 years. The balance never came back. And the Tokyo trip wasn't some random vacation. It was the one thing I actually cared about. Alora had already done Europe twice with her friends. No drama. She did a wellness trip to Sedona on my card. I swallowed it and paid. But Japan was mine. I'd been obsessed since high school. Tried learning Japanese on and off for years. Had notes on food spots, shrines, train routes, all that nerd stuff. I planned the whole thing, and only then it became our trip. Once she realized I was serious, she got excited, started making Pinterest boards, wanted the fancy ryokan in Kyoto, the full experience. Cool. That was the deal. So when she treated my first-class seat like a spare chair at a folding table, that wasn't just disrespect. That was her telling me, loud and clear, what I was worth in my own life. A month ago, she'd mentioned her brother Jared was going through something. Girlfriend troubles. I'd nodded along. Didn't think much of it. Her family's naming system was always a mess anyway. Everybody had a government name and a what we call them name. Made my head spin keeping track. I sat there in the conference room staring at my phone under the table. The airline app notification was still glowing on my screen. Itinerary modified. Passenger removed. Matt. Passenger added. Jared. I pulled up the full confirmation. Stared at it. Something felt off, but I couldn't place it exactly. Maybe her dad's side. Maybe that second marriage story she'd mentioned before. I made a mental note to ask her about it later. She changed my ticket. My first-class ticket that I'd paid for. On our anniversary trip to Tokyo that we'd been planning since last spring. The trip where I'd spent weeks researching izakayas and booking the ryokan in Kyoto. Where I'd prepaid the rail passes and bought tickets to that digital art museum she wouldn't shut up about. Changed my name to his. Like I was a variable in a spreadsheet she could just overwrite. I drove home in silence. Didn't call her, didn't text back. Just drove with my hands tight on the wheel, trying to figure out what kind of mental gymnastics justified this level of disrespect. Found her in our bedroom packing her suitcase like this was all completely normal. Designer blouses folded neat and precise. The ones I bought her for Christmas because she said she needed professional clothes for interviews she never actually went to. She hummed while she worked. Actually hummed. You changed my ticket, I said. Kept my voice level. She looked up and what I saw wasn't guilt. It was that look. The one she used when she'd already decided something and my opinion was just a formality she had to endure. Jared needs this more than you do right now. She went back to packing. His girlfriend just left him, and he's been crashing on couches for 3 weeks. He's seriously depressed, Matt. Like clinical. This trip could save him. You're stable. You're fine. You'll get other chances. And I don't deserve a vacation? You'll survive disappointment. Jared can't handle it right now. She zipped the suitcase with that sharp sound that made my jaw clench. This is what partnerships look like. Supporting each other's families. I thought after 6 years you'd understand that. Family. Right. Her brother Jared, who I'd met exactly twice in 6 years. Once at her mom's birthday, where he borrowed $40 and ghosted me on the payback. Once at a barbecue, where he spent 3 hours on his phone ignoring everyone. Funny thing about Jared, though, he didn't look like Alora. Different bone structure. Different mannerisms. And that naming thing was still bugging me. Why does your brother go by a different name with his friends? I asked. She barely looked up from her suitcase. Because that's what they call him. He goes by Jared with family. His friends call him Evan. It's his middle name. Stop making it weird, Matt. The way she said it. Like I was the one being difficult for asking a basic question about her own family. I took a long breath and did the math. 2 first-class tickets. Hotel for 10 days. Rail passes. Reservations. All paid for by me. My year-end bonus from work. Money I'd saved for months specifically for this. So you're taking your brother on our anniversary trip, I said slowly. Our anniversary can wait. This is bigger than us. She checked her reflection, adjusting her hair. Jared needs to see that family shows up. That we don't abandon people when things get hard. The irony was so thick I could taste metal. When do you leave? Saturday morning, 6 a.m. flight. She smiled like I'd just agreed to something. Thank you for being so understanding about this, babe. This is why I love you. You're so solid. So dependable. Solid. Like a bank vault she could make withdrawals from whenever she felt like it. I went to the living room and opened my laptop. Started doing what I should have done years ago. Started digging. Facebook made it easy. Sort of. I searched Jared first along with Alora's hometown. Got too many results. Nothing clicked. I sat there staring at the search bar, trying to think of another angle. Then I remembered what she'd said. His friends call him Evan. It's his middle name. I typed Evan into the search bar along with her hometown. Boom, first result, sales rep. Profile picture matched the guy from her mom's birthday. Relationship status, single. Recently updated from in a relationship with Stephanie. His photos told the real story. Gym selfies, club shots, beach pictures with his shirt off. Most recent post from yesterday, him and some blonde at a rooftop hangout spot. Caption, back in the game. Real devastated. But here's what made my stomach drop. The comments on his posts. Friends tagging him as Evan. Bros saying Evan you dog under his photos. Casual everyday Evan everywhere. Then one comment from some older woman on a family photo. Love you, Jared. I clicked through his tagged photos. Found what I needed in an album titled Summer 2019. There was Alora, younger, different hair, draped all over him at some beach party, his arm around her waist, her lips on his cheek. Caption, Evan with a red heart, not siblings. Boyfriend and girlfriend. I kept clicking. Concert photos, dinner dates, a weekend trip to Cabo, her wearing his jersey at a basketball game, friends calling him Evan in every single comment. The whole relationship documented in high-definition proof under a name she'd conveniently failed to mention. Timeline matched perfectly. They dated for about 2 years right before I met her. She'd always been vague about her ex. Said he was toxic, said they didn't talk anymore, said I never had to worry. Except now he was her brother. Now he was family. Now he went by his first name instead of his middle name. Now he needed my anniversary trip more than I did. I sat there staring at proof that my girlfriend of 6 years had been lying to my face. That she'd taken her ex-boyfriend, slapped his legal name on him, called him her brother, and expected me to just accept it. She didn't invent a new person. She just renamed an old one. I felt something click. Not anger exactly. Something colder. More calculated. I opened new tabs. Airline website. Hotel booking. Credit card statements. Started building a very specific plan. Elora came out around 11 wearing pajamas. Found me still on the couch. You coming to bed? In a bit. I didn't look up. Just handling some trip details. She kissed my head. Don't stay up too late. I need to be up early Saturday. Yeah, I said. Saturday's going to be interesting. I called Lauren the next morning from my car. Needed to confirm something before I pulled the trigger on any of this. Lauren had been my friend since college. We'd kept in touch through the years. Grabbed lunch occasionally. She knew Elora through me. Became friends with her separately. Always told me I was too good for her, but said it jokingly enough that I never took it seriously. Now I wished I had. She answered on the second ring. Matt, what's up? Quick question. How well do you know Jared? Pause. Long enough that I knew she knew something. Elora's brother? Her voice had that careful quality. The sound of someone choosing words. That's what she calls him. But I found photos from 2019 where they're definitely not acting like family. Friends call him Evan. So I'm going to ask again. How well do you know Jared? She let out a breath. Dang, okay. You found out. Found out what? That they dated. For like 2.5 years. Broke up right before you met her. It was messy. He cheated on her with some CrossFit instructor. Elora was destroyed for months. So why is she calling him her brother now? Silence. Lauren. Because they've been talking again. For about 6 months. She didn't want you to know because she knew it would look bad. Yeah, he's Jared legally. Everyone calls him Evan. Elora used that to keep you from connecting the dots. Said you'd never met her family anyway, so you wouldn't question it. The nuance of her taking him to Tokyo on our anniversary trip. Yeah. Lauren sounded tired. I told her it was insane. That you'd never go for it. So she came up with the brother story and the name switch. Brilliant, honestly. Sick, but brilliant. My hand tightened on the phone. And you went along with it? No. I told her she was being manipulative and cruel, and it would blow up in her face. She said I was being dramatic, that you were too chill to make it a big deal. Too chill to have self-respect, apparently. So what are you going to do? Lauren asked. I'm thinking about that. Random question. Your passport current? Yeah, why? Because I have 2 first-class tickets to Tokyo, a 10-day hotel booking, prepaid rail passes, and Saturday morning I'm canceling Alora's ticket and putting your name on it instead. You in? The silence was different this time. Heavier. You're serious. Dead serious. She chose him over me. So I'm choosing myself, and I'm choosing to bring someone who actually deserves this trip. Matt, if we do this, she'll never forgive me. Good, because I'm done being friends with people who think using me is acceptable. I heard her breathe out slowly. What time Saturday? Flight's at 6 a.m. Meet me at the airport at 4. I'm in. I hung up and sat there for a minute. Then I started phase 2, called the airline, explained there'd been a mistake with the booking, that I needed to change the name on my ticket back from Jared to Matt and remove Alora from the reservation entirely, replacing her with Lauren. The customer service rep made it happen in about 10 minutes, sent me the updated confirmation. Then I went home and started packing. Not my stuff, hers. Every piece of clothing, every pair of shoes, every makeup item and hair product and piece of jewelry I'd bought her over 6 years. All of it went into boxes and bags. I worked methodically, efficiently, like I was clearing out an estate. Alora was at her mom's place helping with some garden project. Had the whole afternoon free. Perfect timing. The engagement ring sat in my sock drawer. White gold band, 1 carat diamond. Cost me 3 months' salary 2 years ago. I'd been planning to propose on the trip. Had the whole thing planned out. Sunrise at the Fushimi Inari Shrine in Kyoto. Down on one knee with Mount Fuji in the background. I pocketed the ring. That was mine. My money. My future I'd been investing in. By the time I finished packing her stuff, my car was loaded. 12 boxes and 8 bags. Everything she owned that wasn't furniture. I drove to Jared's place. Found the address on his Facebook profile. He lived in some apartment complex in North Hollywood. The kind with a broken security gate and trash bins overflowing in the parking lot. His unit was on the 2nd floor. Door slightly warped. Paint peeling. I knocked. Waited. No answer. Knocked again. Still nothing. Perfect. I left everything right there outside his door. All 12 boxes, all 8 bags. Stacked neat and organized in front of his dusty welcome mat. Took a photo. Wide angle. Got his apartment number in the frame. Proof of delivery. Then I drove home and finished packing my own stuff. Found a storage unit that offered same-day rental. Moved everything I owned into a 10 by 10 space. Bed, dresser, all my clothes. My gaming setup, everything. Left the apartment with just the furniture I'd bought. The couch she'd picked out. The TV I never watched. The kitchen table where we'd had 1,000 forgettable meals. Let her have it all. I didn't want any of it. Every piece was just a reminder of 6 years I'd wasted. By Friday night, the apartment looked like a staged showing. Clean, impersonal, empty of anything that mattered. I slept on the couch. Didn't tell her I'd be there. She was still at her mom's, probably packing her own stuff for tomorrow's trip. My phone stayed silent. She hadn't noticed anything yet. Saturday morning would be educational for everyone involved. Met Lauren at LAX at 4 a.m. Saturday. She showed up looking nervous but determined. Had her bags packed like she was ready for anything. You really did it, she said. You really canceled her ticket. And moved all her stuff out of my apartment. And put it at Jared's place. And took back my ring. I showed her the photo on my phone. The boxes stacked outside his door. Her eyes went wide. Holy cow, Matt. She chose him. So he can have all of her. We checked in together. The ticket agent looked at our confirmation, smiled, and processed us through. First class. Seats 2A and 2B. The ones right behind the cockpit with the most legroom and privacy. This is insane, Lauren said as we walked toward security. This is what self-respect looks like. Security was smooth. TSA waved us through. We headed to the first-class lounge, sat in the comfortable chairs with orange juice and fresh fruit while we waited for boarding. Lauren kept checking her phone. When do you think she'll notice? Probably when she tries to check in and her name's not in the system. That's cold. That's fair. My phone buzzed at 4:45. Elora. I let it ring. It buzzed again. 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 Then the texts started. Matt, where are you? I'm at the airport. My ticket isn't working. Call me right now. This isn't funny, Matt. I showed Lauren. She read them and looked at me. Are you going to answer? Eventually, after we're through the gate. We boarded at 5:30. The flight attendant greeted us by name, offered sparkling water before we even sat down. The seats were incredible. Full recline, personal screens, more space than my bedroom. Lauren settled in next to me. I can't believe we're doing this. Believe it. The plane filled up around us. Families heading back, business travelers, nobody paying attention to us. Nobody caring that we were two people who just completely upended someone's life. My phone kept buzzing. I turned it to airplane mode. Let Alora spiral in the terminal. Let her figure out what happened. Let her feel what it's like when someone you trust pulls the rug out without warning. The plane pushed back from the gate, started taxiing toward the runway. Lauren looked at me. Thank you for this. Whatever happens after, thank you. Don't thank me yet. Real fun starts when she realizes where all her stuff went. The engines roared. The plane lifted off. Los Angeles disappeared below us. Alora had no idea what was coming. Jared had no idea what was waiting on his doorstep. And honestly, that made the sparkling water taste even better. Landed at Narita Sunday afternoon Tokyo time. 14 hours of flying. Lauren slept most of it. I stayed awake thinking about Alora discovering her entire life boxed up outside her ex's apartment. Customs was easy. Immigration waved us through. We grabbed bags and headed for the Narita Express. The train would take us straight into Shinjuku. My phone had been in airplane mode since takeoff. Lauren's too. We'd agreed. No contact until we were settled. Let Alora stew in it. Let her figure it out on her own. The train was clean and fast. We rode through countryside that turned into suburbs that turned into Tokyo's dense chaos. Lauren had her face pressed to the window. This is unreal. Wait until you see the hotel. The Park Hyatt sat 52 floors tall in the middle of Shinjuku. Same hotel from that movie Alora wouldn't shut up about. The one she'd begged me to book specifically. We checked in. The suite was on the 48th floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. 2 bedrooms. Living room bigger than my old apartment. Bathroom with a tub that could fit 4 people. Lauren walked through it like she was in a dream. Kept touching things to make sure they were real. This is completely insane, Matt. This is what she gave up. I unpacked my stuff, hung up my clothes, set up my camera gear. I was documenting every second of this trip, every meal, every view, every moment she'd never have. Around 6 p.m. Tokyo time, I turned my phone back on. It exploded. 68 missed calls from Alora, 143 text messages, 21 voicemails, all from the last 12 hours. The texts were a masterpiece. Started confused, turned panicked, ended absolutely unhinged. What happened to my ticket? They're saying I'm not on the flight. Matt, answer your phone. Where are my clothes? Where is all my stuff? I went to Jared's and everything is just sitting outside his door. What did you do? What did you do? You can't do this. This is illegal. I'm calling the police. Answer me. The voicemails were even better, her voice getting more desperate with each one. The last one was her crying, full sobbing, saying she couldn't believe I'd do this, that she was scared and alone and all her stuff was getting stolen outside Jared's apartment. I didn't respond. Instead, I handed Lauren her phone. Time to turn yours on. She powered it up. It went nuclear immediately. Alora had called her 42 times, left voice messages, sent walls of text, all begging Lauren to tell her where I was. If I was okay, what was happening? Lauren scrolled through them with shaking hands. She's losing it. Good, she earned it. I opened Instagram, created a post, photo of Tokyo skyline from our window. Caption, sometimes the universe forces you to level up. Thanks for the push. Tagged Lauren. Tagged the Park Hyatt. Location, Shinjuku, Tokyo. Hit share. Waited. Took 3 minutes for my phone to ring. Alora, I declined. She called again. Declined. Again. Declined. Then Lauren's phone rang. Answer it, I said. Speaker. Lauren's hand shook as she answered. Hello? What the heck is going on? Alora's voice came through like a scream. Why are you in Tokyo? Why is Matt in Tokyo? Where is all my stuff? Lauren looked at me. I nodded. We're on vacation, Lauren said, voice surprisingly steady. Matt invited me. We're having a great time, actually. Silence. Complete shocked silence. Then, you're lying. Check Instagram. More silence. I could hear Alora's breathing, fast and shallow. This is a joke. This is sick. It's not a joke, Alora. I'm sitting in the Park Hyatt right now. The suite you were supposed to stay in. The one Matt paid for your anniversary trip. The one you gave away to your ex-boyfriend while telling Matt he was your brother. The explosion was immediate. How dare you? How dare both of you? You come home right now. We are going to have a serious conversation about boundaries. Funny you mention boundaries, I said, since you clearly don't understand them. Matt. Her voice shifted, became pleading. Baby, please, this is crazy. Come home. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix. You made your choice. You chose Jared. You lied about who he was. You gave away our trip without asking. So I made my choice too. This isn't you. You're not vindictive like this. You're right. I'm not usually. But 6 years of being taken for granted changes a person. Where is my stuff? Where did you put all my clothes? Outside Jared's apartment. Like you said, he's family now. He can handle it. She made a sound between a sob and a scream. You can't do this. You can't just move all my stuff. That's illegal. Actually, it's not. Everything in that apartment was mine. Paid for by me. You're welcome to come get your stuff anytime. Just ask your brother for the key. I hung up. Lauren stared at her phone, already ringing again. Elora. She declined. Well, she said, I guess that's that. That's just the beginning. Come on, we have dinner reservations. Kaiseki place in Roppongi. Supposed to be incredible. We're seriously going to dinner right now? We're seriously going to enjoy this entire trip. That's the whole point. We went to dinner. 14 courses. Each plate a work of art. Lauren photographed everything. Posted it all to Instagram. Tagged me in every shot. Made sure the world could see exactly what Elora had lost. My phone kept buzzing. Elora. Jared now too. Even Elora's mom. I ignored all of it. Turned off notifications and focused on the food. By midnight, we were back at the hotel. Lauren collapsed on the couch looking exhausted but alive. That was the best meal of my life. Just wait. Tomorrow we're doing the fish market at 5 a.m. You're insane. Maybe. But we're in Tokyo and we're not wasting a second. She fell asleep on the couch. I covered her with a blanket. Went to my room. Checked my phone one last time. 179 missed calls. I turned it off completely and slept better than I had in years. Monday we hit Tsukiji at dawn. Tuna auction, then sushi so fresh it felt illegal. Lauren documented everything. Photos, stories, tags, locations. Zero chance anyone could pretend we weren't really in Japan. My phone stayed off. Hers didn't. She'd show me the highlights. Elora spiraling. Jared confused. The lie collapsing in real time. Elora showed up at Jared's Saturday night and found her stuff dumped outside his door. Some boxes already gone. The rest got dragged into his cramped one-bedroom while she moved onto his couch like it was a plan. Her messages swung between begging and threats. Lawsuit talk, victim talk. Same script. You good? I asked. Lauren stared at the screen. I feel bad, but I don't. Congrats. That's consequences. Tuesday we took the bullet train to Kyoto. The ryokan was the full traditional setup, private onsen and all. Lauren teared up when she saw her room. This is too much, Matt. This is what she gave away. We did temples, arashiyama, long dinners, tea ceremony. I felt 6 years of tension evaporate. Lauren stopped checking her phone every 5 minutes. At Kinkakuji, she said, I can't be her friend after this. Then don't. She posted a photo with no caption. Elora called. Lauren declined without hesitation. Friday, we went back to Tokyo and did the fun chaos. Harajuku, Shibuya, street food, Akihabara, karaoke until 3 a.m. Saturday night, sweet balcony, Japanese tea, Tokyo lit up below us. I turned my phone on for flight details. Elora had a calm, calculated text. Let's talk like adults. Lauren read it. She's trying to make you the bad guy. Same as always. I deleted it and powered off again. Last day we did Meiji Shrine at sunrise, shopping, a perfect one-item lunch, rooftop in Roppongi with Tokyo Tower glowing. On the ride back, Lauren said, I'm dreading going home. That night, I slept like a free man. We landed at LAX Monday afternoon. Coming back from Tokyo is always brutal. Time zones and jet lag, and the sudden drop from amazing back to normal. Lauren looked nervous going through customs, like she expected Elora to be waiting with a baseball bat. She wasn't there. Nobody was. We grabbed bags and headed to parking. I'm scared to turn on my data, Lauren said. Don't be. Worst that happens is she yells through a screen. That's not the worst thing. Fair point. We got to my car. I'd left it in long term before we left. Threw our bags in the trunk. Lauren turned her data on. Phone immediately seized up. Messages loading, calls populating. The whole thing having a meltdown. She scrolled for a few minutes. Face blank. Then looked at me. She called the cops on you. What? Filed a report. Said you stole her belongings. That you're holding them hostage. That she wants to press charges. I stared at her. You're kidding. I wish. She showed me the screenshot. Actual police report number. Filed Thursday while we were in Kyoto. That's insane. That's Elora. When she can't control the narrative, she creates a new one. What did they say? They want you to call them. Give a statement. I called from the parking structure. Spent 20 minutes explaining to some detective that no, I didn't steal anything. Everything in that apartment was mine. Paid for by me. I had receipts, credit card statements, proof of purchase for every single item. The detective sounded annoyed. Said I should have given her proper notice before moving her stuff. Said technically I was in the right legally, but it looked bad optically. I told him she could come get her belongings anytime. They were safe. Nothing was being held hostage. Just sitting at her friend's place. He said he'd make a note in the file. Close it out as a civil matter. Hung up sounding done with the whole situation. That's handled, I said. What now? Now we face the music. I dropped Lauren off at her apartment first. She got out slowly, looked at me through the passenger window. This was the best week of my life. Mine too. She grabbed her bags. Stood there for a second. I blocked her number. Blocked her everywhere. I'm done. Good. I watched her walk into her building. Waited until I saw her light turn on. Then drove to my new apartment. Different part of town? Fresh start. Nobody from my old life knew the address. Except Lauren. I parked in the garage and headed up. Took the elevator to the 9th floor. Walked down the hall with my bags. Then I saw her, Elora, sitting against my door. Hair unbrushed. No makeup. Sweatpants and a tank top. Eyes red and swollen. Looked like she'd been crying for days. She looked up when she heard my footsteps. Scrambled to her feet. Matt, how did you find my address? I followed Lauren from her place. Waited until she left this morning. Saw where she went. Smart. Creepy, but smart. You need to leave, Elora. Not until we talk. She stepped in front of my door. You don't get to just disappear. Not after 6 years. I'm not disappearing. I'm moving on. There's a difference. Her face went from desperate to angry in seconds. Moving on? You humiliated me. Left me stranded at the airport. Moved all my stuff out like I was garbage. You gave away our anniversary trip to your ex-boyfriend while lying to my face about who he was. It was one mistake, Matt. It wasn't one mistake, Elora. It was 6 years of mistakes I ignored. I tried to step around her. She blocked me, planted herself between me and my door. You're not walking away from this conversation. Watch me. I moved her aside gently. She grabbed my arm, dug her nails in hard, deep. Matt, please, can we talk? Like adults? I looked at her hand on my arm, blood starting to well up under her fingernails. Let go. Not until you listen. I pulled my arm away. She held on tighter, dragged 4 deep scratches down my forearm as I yanked free. Jesus, Elora. She looked at her hand, at my blood on her nails. Something shifted in her face, like she realized she'd gone too far but couldn't back down now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... You need to leave. Now. We can fix this. She was crying now. Full tears. Mascara streaking. I'll never talk to Jared again. I'll cut him off. I'll get a job, pay rent, be better. It's too late for that. It's never too late. 6 years, Matt. 6 years. You're throwing that away over one trip? I looked at her. Really looked at the person I'd spent 6 years supporting. I'm not throwing anything away. You threw it away when you changed my ticket and expected me to be okay with it. That's not fair. It's completely fair. You lied about your ex. You gave away our anniversary trip. You made me feel guilty for wanting basic respect. I unlocked my door. She tried to push past me into the apartment. Please, Matt, just talk to me. 5 minutes. No. I blocked the doorway. This conversation is over. We're over. You need to accept that and leave. I'm not leaving until you understand how much you hurt me. How much I hurt you. She shoved me. Both hands. Hard. I stumbled back into my doorframe. Yes, you. You left me at the airport. You took my best friend on my trip. You destroyed my life. I suggest you leave before this gets worse. Or what? You'll call the cops? Go ahead. Tell them how you abandoned me. How you threw all my stuff outside like trash. I'm asking you nicely. Leave. Make me. I pulled out my phone. Started dialing. She slapped it out of my hand. It hit the hallway wall. Screen cracked. Don't you dare. That's when my neighbor's door opened. Older guy. Retired cop. He'd introduced himself when I moved in. Everything okay out here? Elora spun around. Mind your business. I'm making it my business. Miss, I think you should leave. This is between me and my boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend, I said. And she's leaving. The neighbor pulled out his phone. I'm calling the police. You're trespassing and you just destroyed his property. Elora's face went white. Then red. Then she lunged at him. Big mistake. He was 70, but he'd been doing this for 40 years. Sidestepped. Let her momentum carry her past. She hit the wall. Hard. Now you've really screwed up, he said calmly. 10 minutes later, 2 squad cars pulled up. My neighbor had kept her in the hallway. Blocked her path every time she tried to leave. The officers took statements from all 3 of us. Photographed my arm. The scratches were deep. Still bleeding. They photographed my cracked phone screen. My neighbor's testimony sealed it. She assaulted both of you, the lead officer said. That's battery, plus destruction of property. Elora was crying, full performance mode. He abandoned me. He ruined my life. I just wanted to talk. By assaulting him and his neighbor? Ma'am, you're under arrest. They cuffed her right there in my hallway. Read her rights. She screamed the whole way down. Matt, tell them. Tell them what you did. The officers walked her out. My neighbor watched them go. Shook his head. You okay, son? Getting there. You need to file a restraining order. Tomorrow. This kind of crazy doesn't just stop. Yeah, I will. He clapped my shoulder. Went back to his apartment. I stood there in my hallway. Door still open. Phone cracked. Arm bleeding. Finally walked inside. Closed the door. Locked it. Put the chain on. My phone buzzed. Text from Lauren. Please tell me you're okay. I'm fine. Elora just got arrested for assault. 3 dots appeared. Stopped. Appeared again. Holy cow, Matt. Yeah. You okay? Getting there. I set my phone down. Looked around my new place. Empty. Quiet. Mine. For the first time in 6 years, everything was mine. 4 months later, I was in a completely different place. Literally and mentally. New apartment fully furnished now. 1 bedroom, 9th floor, view of the hills. All my rules, all my peace. Work promoted me to senior logistics coordinator. Better pay, better hours. My boss said I seemed different lately. More focused, more confident. I had figured something out. Being alone was better than being used. Lauren and I stayed friends. Grabbed dinner monthly, texted occasionally. Nothing romantic. Just 2 people who'd survived the same storm and respected each other for it. She'd blocked Elora completely. Said it was the healthiest decision she'd ever made. I hadn't heard from Elora since the arrest. She'd been charged with battery and destruction of property. Got a plea deal, probation, community service, anger management classes. The restraining order I filed got approved without contest. Jared had apparently broken up with her a week after she moved into his place. Couldn't handle the drama. Last I heard, she was living with her mom, working retail, trying to rebuild. November hit and I was settled into routine. Work, gym, cooking real meals, reading, weekend trips, living for myself. Then she showed up again, Saturday afternoon, coming back from the grocery store, arms full of bags. She was waiting on my building steps. Same spot where the cops cuffed her 4 months ago, looking better than last time. Hair done, makeup on, clothes that actually fit. Matt, I stopped, adjusted the bags, didn't say anything. I know you don't want to see me, but I need to talk to you. 5 minutes, please. I looked at her, saw the effort, the planning, the outfit chosen to remind me of better times. You violated your restraining order just being here. I know, I don't care. I had to try. That's not my problem. I walked toward the door. She followed. I made mistakes. I know. I was selfish, manipulative, but I've been working on myself, going to therapy, becoming better. Good for you. I reached my door, punched the code. I got a real job, full-time, benefits. I'm paying my own bills, supporting myself. I'm proud of you. Don't do that. Don't dismiss me. I turned around, looked at her on the sidewalk, desperate, trying so hard to get back something she'd destroyed. What do you want, Elora? Another chance. To prove I've changed. To show you I can be the partner you deserved. 6 years you had to be that partner. You chose not to. You chose to use me instead. That's not fair. It's completely fair. You gave away our anniversary trip. You lied about your ex. You expected me to just accept it. Well, I didn't, and I won't. I'm sorry, whispered. I'm so sorry. I know you are. You're sorry you got caught. Sorry you faced consequences. Sorry you had to grow up. That's not true. Then why did it take losing everything to get a job? Why did it take me leaving to make you change? She had no answer. I'm different now, she said finally. I promise. Maybe you are. Genuinely maybe. But I'm different too. And who I am now doesn't have space for who you were. Matt, please. I'm not your safety net anymore, Elora. Find someone else for that. I walked into my building, let the door close. Heard her call my name once more, but kept walking. Elevator up to my floor, into my apartment, put groceries away, opened a soda, stood at my window looking out at the hills. My phone buzzed, text from her. I'll always love you. I hope someday you can forgive me. I stared at it for a long moment, then typed back, I already have, but forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. I hope you find happiness, just not with me. Deleted her number, blocked it, blocked everything. Stood there in my apartment, my space, my life. The engagement ring was still in my sock drawer. I'd sell it eventually. Use the money for something better. Something mine. For now, though, I just stood there drinking my soda and watching the sun set over the hills. 6 years of my life given to someone who didn't value it. 4 months of my life spent learning to value myself. I knew which version I preferred, and I was never going back. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.